missing on The View, baby.
She's nervous. With us, you're nervous?
Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. I'm so excited you're here, though.
Yes, I missed you the last
She
time.
wasn't here the last time. You're wearing my ultimate favorite print everywhere, even in a tattoo on your leg. Well, I love it.
Obviously,
I
don't have a love life because I was up all night doing this.
Are these your cards?
Yeah, these are my note cards. Actually, I had a funny story I wanted to tell you.
Okay.
Because I'm a huge, huge, huge Whoopi fan. And there's this one hotel that I stay at where there's photos of you, everywhere throughout the lobby.
With my clothes on.
With your, yeah. You're definitely dressed. So I went out with my friends one night and we had a little bit to drink. When we went back, we were going up the back way. So we saw this photo of you and I'm like, oh, I love her so much. I just want to take her up to my room. So I thought it would be funny to steal the Whoopi in the back entrance. And we got upstairs, me and my girlfriends were laughing our heads off, and I swear, 5 minutes later, I heard... And I opened the door, and it's the hotel security, and they go, we're going to need to have Whoopi back. What you're talking about is I'm like kicking it to the side and I'm like, we'll be out of here.
We have her all the time.
Yes, you do. You're very lucky.
Well, we know that the debt crisis has sort of been dealt with, but it's not completely finished. So we're going to wait and talk about that tomorrow. Because why talk about that when we have the fabulous Lady Gaga? I wanted to ask you because, Amy Winehouse passed about a week ago now, I guess it is. She's 27, an incredible artist. Your thoughts on the passing of somebody with such amazing talent?
I'm just so devastated and so sad. And I really couldn't speak for like 48 hours straight. I was in such shock. And, I just think the most unfortunate thing about it all is the way that the media spins things, like, oh, here we can learn from Amy's death. I don't feel that, Amy needed to learn any lessons. I felt that the lesson was for the world to be kinder to the superstar. Everybody was so hard on her, and everything that I knew about her was that she was the most lovely and nice and kind woman. So
a lot of people blamed her for her addiction.
Yes.
Right.
Which is stupid because addictions are serious issues and it's diseased.
It's an evil thing to do, too.
And also, I read that she actually, the reason for her death was because she stopped cold turkey and her body couldn't handle.
Is that what they said?
Yes. And
it also said, and she was 27, you're 25. Yeah. And enormous fame, and you have enormous fame. And it said that she struggled, along with the addiction, she struggled with the fame. This kind of fame is very hard to handle. You have. How come?
Well, it's a very lonely life, but I think that that's part of what we love about her. You can't have it both ways. You can't enjoy listening to someone sing sad songs about the blues and heartbreak and then not expect them to be truly heartbroken and expect something different out of them.
Sad songs.
Sure, I do. Yeah. And sometimes I'm very sad, just like everybody watching at home, and sometimes I'm happy.
Beyonce was on the other day. And
Queen Bee.
The Queen. And she was saying that she took a year off from her career because she wanted to go to the Louvre and she wanted to go to this museum and see Capri.
So-called normal
she wanted to see the world, so she took a whole year off. What do you think about that?
I'm actually completely opposite. The other day I went, I woke up at 5 in the morning to go to Queens to go watch a race. People were running a half marathon and I wanted to see them race, and so I went there, and I went to a bar later with some friends and just had a couple of beers in the middle of nowhere. I think I want to see less of the world.
Stay home.
Yeah, I kind of just want to be with my friends, and I stay really, really close to the people that have always inspired
close
me.
to your family.
Yeah.
Then your mom was here the last time.
Then why do you say it's a lonely life? You sound like you have a very full life.
Well, I sort of treasure the loneliness, and I think as a female, as a strong Italian female, I don't feel that I necessarily need to be entertained by other things all the time. I like to cook, I like to write music.
I heard you make a mean meatball, is that right?
I do. Well, I think maybe Joy and I should have a meatball off.
Have a meatball off?
A meatball off. But Gaga, I don't think that we can just throw away her terrible addictions And you've talked openly about the fact that you did cocaine. You talked about it just recently in a television show. And
Yeah, I used to do hard drugs.
And you did hard drugs, and you drank, or you drink. How did you get it? The easiest thing to do is to just keep doing it. The hard thing is to do what you did.
Well, I was so embarrassed. You know, my dad sort of called me out about it one day, and so I stopped. I don't do any hard drugs anymore. I'm a little part of the Green Club sometimes.
What did your father, how did he do that?
You had someone to hold you accountable. Like, that was your dad. He held you accountable.
Yeah, what
He
did
said,
your father do? That's instructive.
My dad was like, you know, I know what you're doing, and just so you know, I did it, and I lost every friend and everything that I ever had while I did it. He shared with me his life story and his struggle. So that was what ultimately changed my life. And honestly, it was the best thing that ever happened. I never went back, never
So
wanted
are you
to.
trying to share this with the little monsters?
Yeah, I don't want them to do anything bad that would ever hurt them. I want them to be, you know, healthy and happy. And there's a way to be recreational and be young and rebellious and have a good time and not hurt yourself.
I want to ask you about Happy, because was it 2 weekends ago already? My gosh, I know you've been such a huge huge supporter of equal rights, especially when it comes to gay marriage.
Oh, yeah.
2 weekends ago, gay marriage in New York City. Let me ask you, how did you celebrate? 'Cause it was really a day of celebration, especially here. What did you do that day, and how did you celebrate?
Well, I was in Tokyo, and I was getting ready to do this performance for MTV Aid Japan to help raise money for the relief.
Right.
And so I was there, and actually my yoga instructor, Trisha, who's from New York, who teaches on the Lower East Side here, she's a lesbian, and she's been living with her partner for years, and they have a baby girl, Lula, who's so adorable. And I just remember I got the news via Twitter, of course.
Where else to get news?
Well, of course. So I just remember I looked over at her and I said, "You're gonna get married, baby." And she just fell onto the floor and started crying, and she just started saying, "I'm gonna make my kid legit." And it was just so cool.
That's so nice.
We share a friend who is now also gone, another one who is gone, the fabulous Clarence Clemens.
Yeah.
You did the last piece with her. That was, you know, he was an extraordinary, extraordinary man. And what was your experience like with him?
You know, he really was kind of like a father figure. He really was. And the very brief time that I got to spend with him, I'd say, you know, we had like 6 wonderful months of really close friendship, Clarence and I. He really changes your life so quickly.
Yeah.
And it's very, you don't know why and you can't explain it, but he just has this godly spirit about him. You feel like you're in the presence of something so significant. And it was so important to me that he and I were the only 2 people on that video night. I don't know why.
It is, well, I'm thankful for it, because it's not only just a spectacular video, but it's great to see 2 amazing performers together on the screen or on the big screen, whichever you're watching. I'm watching a little screen, but that's all right. Now, you know, Gaga's gonna, pardon me, I don't want you to get mad. Lady Gaga is sticking with us at the table, and when we come back, she's going to chime in on some of our hot topics of the day. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.